Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stilezzi here with another Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition casted Deathmatch series. So, this time we got ourselves a good match between Team Pink Potatoes and Team Potatoes and Ketchup. So, basically, pink potatoes and reddish pink potatoes. We'll get into the first game and then we'll get into the rest of the matches in this series as part of this upload. I'm looking forward to these two teams going up against each other. I see a lot of civs in there I really like, and I'd love to see them basically duke it out. Yep, pretty much. So this is loading up right now and should be ready any moment, hopefully. And then we can get right into the casting part of this upload. Yep. Okay, so here we are. It's loading the interface. Very good. Alright, so here we are now. And we got a Mongol and Portugal against a Gujarat and a Inca. Okay, so over here we see the Portuguese, and over here are the Mongols, and then over here you have the Inca, and the Gujarats would be down here. So this is a death match. You're going to see a lot of construction with the villagers right away. What you build really does matter. It can mean life or death in this. It's called death match for a reason. It's to the death. I mean, look, even the scout line unit that you start with, the Hussar, is going to be used as a raiding unit to try to disrupt the villagers and potentially even take one out, because every one less villager you have at this critical part of the match means one less building being built that could save you. Whether that be houses for population, a barracks stable or range or siege workshop for military, or starting to get those castles and town centers ready for your defense. So much you have to consider here, right? So, looks like the Portugal starts out with infantry, some champions, and halberdiers. So, a bit of stuff to deal with the Eagle Warriors, pretty much. So, yeah, we'll get these lead Eagle Warriors coming in from the Incas. Champions will obviously be the best counter to that. And here they go. However, the Eagles will try to break through and potentially harass villagers. See how they're moving around very quickly around that base, looking for anything they can target. That's what they're going to do. And then, of course, the Portuguese, they're going to make hand cannoneers because, as you know, the Portuguese gunpowder units do have some form of ballistics, so they shoot moving targets a lot easier. Something that normally gunpowder units do not do that well. So hand cannoneers, bomb cannons, bomb towers, all going to be really good at aiming stuff running very quickly, including Eagle Warriors. So that's why we see that here. Looks like the Gujarat also teams up with the Inca to an extent and brings in some of their camel riders, it looks like. Yep, as you know, the Gujarats are really strong as a cavalry civ, so you are going to see a lot of camel riders engaging in battle, usually with them. Right, Portugal basically doing a good job. Send about 3 castles here. They're going to set up a 4th one over there. Send up all their production sort of in the back of that base. And we got to pay attention to what the Mongols are going to do, right? So what are the Mongols going to do? So Mongols are going to do what we normally want to see, right? So a trash unit with the gold unit. In this case, they're doing pikemen with siege archers. Siege archers are one of the best things you can use as the Mongols, of course, because Mongol siege weapons move faster. So even in these fights against cavalry units like the camels, the siege archers could get some favorable micro and be able to actually evade some of these camels and actually hit them. And that's what you're seeing here. These archers, again, a lot of value right now. They took out chakrams, they took out camels. They've been doing pretty good here, honestly, not going to lie. But do watch out for those chakrams, though. The chakrams, as you know, sort of almost like a scorpion, you know. They have those big bladed discs, and the disc goes right through the first unit and damages units in the back as well. So you have to be really careful of that. Pikemen doing their best to mostly focus on the camels. Archers are going to try to focus more on the chakrams, I bet, as well as any potential siege that the Gujarat pops out. We do see some siege workshops coming up as well as a castle over here, so they're definitely setting up the perimeter for a push. Inca's getting a bit more intense now in their attack, coming in with slingers, eagles, halbs. Also siege, we see trebs as well as a siege ram here. A lot of stuff going on pretty much, so we'll see what ends up happening here. Portugal going for organs, bomb cannons, cannoneers, as well as some infantry, right? As I said, gunpowder is really what Portugal specializes in the most. And guess what? Portuguese units, as you know, cost, less gold, so you're going to actually be able to make a lot more of them compared to another Civ, right? Another Civ's going to pay a lot more in gold to make these units, so you end up saving a lot by going with any sort of gold units as the Portuguese. They're sort of like those really, really good gunpowder Civs, pretty much. Let's see what these Onagers can do, though. Onagers would be a great way to take out some organs. We see an Onager. Yep. Whoa, look at that. Good shot of the cannoneers. Whoa, take out some more cannoneers. Very good. Also, some Eagle Warriors coming this way. Some more camels. And what's going on back here? Oh, wow, look at the raids from the camels in the back here. Very intense stuff overall. Very, very intense. So if we get back to over here, we see the bomb cannons trying to target away at the siege onagers with some pretty good success. Taking out about 3 of them. I mean, the Mongol siege onagers are a little bit faster, so they can technically evade a little bit better, but still, bomb cannons are going to definitely be a good counter to the onagers because of that range advantage, right? The bomb cannons can take out the onagers and get away unscathed, if lucky. And that's why you see the Mongol doing so many onagers there. Look at how many siege onagers they got going on now. That's a lot of them right there. Whole lot of them. But unfortunately, the camels are coming right in front of them. And the pikes are forced to try to climb over the onagers to kind of poke their way into the camels. And it's kind of creating... Yep, and see, then the camels just break off towards these ones. And yeah, the camels are causing a lot of chaos there. A lot of chaos overall. But one thing you definitely need to be aware of course, is that the Gujarat camels actually deals even more bonus damage than most camels actually do against cavalry. And that's why we're not seeing any sort of hussars or anything here. Mostly just pike and siege, because you really don't want to waste any gold on or food on cavalry that the camels are just going to completely shred. So that's why you're seeing that. Right. Now, the Portugal has been doing a good job at holding the line, and they're actually going to start to push right now. Taking out Castle, potentially targeting that market, that siege workshop. Not going to lie, that's a very weird place for a market, because you know it's right on the front lines. I guess at this point he was just looking for the most primal trade route with the most gold, but unfortunately that trade route is denied now, so he's probably going to have to go on the more standard back of the map type of trade route. Right, so what now? We see organs blasting right into the Inca units. Bomb cans following closely. Hand cannoneers coming up as well. And they're going to sort of just try to work together here to try to make the push happen. Yep. I see them marking an X over there trying to warn about the Gujarats raid from the side here. I mean, whenever you're in a 2 versus 2 or a 3 versus 3 sort of deathmatch game, you're going to alert your allies when they're getting raided. And of course, if you see one of your teammates getting completely sieged, you're going to go in with some cavalry and try to stop them from pushing, because they have to worry about their economy too. So, yeah, if you ever notice your allies getting completely swamped in a fight, in deathmatch, definitely send some cavalry over to the enemy that's attacking them and, you know, get the monkey off their back, basically. Hand cannoneers doing a good job against the onagers. Has enough to deal with the eagles. Doesn't quite look like it. Probably going to lose that line of hand cans, but it looks like the eagles almost ignore them in a way, you know? Probably expecting the onager to deal with them. So yeah, going for the meteor group of gold units in the back, I see. Cans do a good job taking out the onager before it becomes a threat. Also taking out rams. You always have to be careful of rams too, because as you know, siege rams definitely do a lot of bonus damage against siege weapons and melee, so you have to always watch out for that. Even the Portugal got a few onagers of their own to try to deal some good splash against all these eagles. Now, let's see if the bomb can do good against this onager here. I don't know why he hasn't targeted this thing yet. Should probably actually target that. Oh, yep, good job. Good job with that gunpowder ballistics, getting that onager. Now we see some chakras here trying to slice through all these trebs. Yeah, this is where chakras can do pretty good, you know. Doing a lot of good hack damage against all the trebs at the same time, yeah. Look at how they're grinding just... Wow, they're grinding for them quite good. Quite good. You gotta wonder now how they're gonna set up their trade, because it's sort of getting to that point in the match where you gotta start thinking about trade. You know, trading trading between your markets for some gold. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a trash war. And if the enemy's not doing a trash war, then you're going to be the trash that's going to be taken out. So you have to do something about it. Now, it looks like here, 3 markets for Mongols, 1 for Portuguese. Anything for the... Well, it looks like the Incas get set up over there. Where's the Gujaras at? So the Gujaras got their markets over here, so they got about 4 of them. Okay, good to know. I'm sure they will be rated pretty heavily here, especially since you got some very fast unit civs here pretty much, like the Incas and Gujaras spam and stuff. That's fast. Maybe the Mongols will do some Hussars too. We'll have to see. Yeah, Archers trying to maneuver around these camels as much as possible. Very good. Trebs doing a good job there, trying to fight. Let's see if the Trebs can take out that castle. Very good. Very nice. Let's see if they can snipe that thing down. Very good. Right there. Oh, nice. Very nice. Take that thing out. Let's see that. Very good. Mangudai. Now, the Mangudai will be a good addition here against the bomb cans because, you know, Mangudai actually have bonus damage against all siege weapons, so Mangudai will definitely be a good addition against any sort of trebs or bomb cans that the Gujaras are doing. We do see a bit of a switch. We see some more Hussars now mixed in with the camels. Probably because before, I think the Gujaras sort of realized that they weren't doing a cavalry, so they may as well just save some of their gold up for the siege weapons at this critical stage and just do Hussars, which I think is pretty fine. Yeah, no, we see the Mangudai trying to position against these camels now. Right, what's going on over on this front between the Portuguese and the Incas? So we continuously see Gujaras having to send heavy camels in to help their ally out. So it's pretty clear the Portugal's pushing pretty good. At least it seems like it. The hand can combo with the organs and the bomb cans and the little bit of infantry is definitely giving Incas a lot of trouble. You see some Kamyuks from the Incas, it looks like. I wonder why, because we haven't really seen any cavalry, at least it seems like yet. I mean, that could obviously change. Maybe we'll see some cavaliers, but who knows at this point. Yep, doing a good job there against all that cavalry. Pikemen doing a pretty good job there. Yeah, pikemen really there just to keep the camels off their back. Camel humpback. And where are we at with the trade? Trying to see here who's doing the best pretty much in terms of economic unit count comparison. So it looks like the right team here is doing a bit better, whereas in terms of military, it definitely seems like the Mongols and Portuguese are definitely pushing out a lot more military. You see a lot of gunpowder units here from the Portuguese trying to press into the Incas. And it's been going pretty well. I mean, you've seen the starting castles that Inca was doing being taken out, a lot of those buildings as well. So what are we going to see next? Are we going to see... Well, we see the organs take a shot at that Arb. Very nice. Let's see if the bomb cans can potentially get a good aim on those archers. That would be another gain. Let's see. So they get one archer down. How about the other one? Maybe the other one too. Take that out as well. More eagles. Champions getting to fight with those Kamyuks. Take that out there. Very good. What's going on down here between Mongols and Gujaras? So we see camels completely shredding the siege and going right into the Mangadai. That's very bad. Very bad fight there. You definitely don't want to see that happen if you're Mongols, because that's a lot of gold you're losing there. Really bad. You kind of just want to get a big mass of the pikes up, I think, and try to fight with those at this point, or maybe do your own camels. Probably the pikemen to save on gold at this point, since you know the Gujar camels are going to beat yours any day of the week. And now we see bomb cannons doing a pretty good job here, blasting that castle down. Yeah. If that castle goes down, I think that'd be a pretty good gain for the Portugal player. Portugal says, watch out. Oh, never mind. Oh, we see a bit of a raid here with some camels. Yeah, it's about time that we see these raids on the trade route. Probably camels and eagles from the Inca Gujar side, and then potentially some cavalry from the Mongols being raiding on their trade route down there. Yep. So we see Mangadai being used to micro down the camels. Odgers trying to again aim at the chakram throwers. Pikemen kind of scouting ahead, trying to root out any sort of camel issues that they might run into. Yep, we do see more camels, so the pikemen are definitely going to be very useful here if they can intercept them. Oh boy, look at that Inca actually trying to repair that castle. Very good, actually. Yeah, now the Portugal's going to have to pull off now and actually use those bomb cans to take out the Odgers here. Nope. Yep, you have to back up. You got to back up. Oh, no. Yeah, you lost about two bomb cans there to those Odgers. They got really deep in there. Yep, take out another Odger now. Let's see if they can... Oh, man. Got a champion on that Odger, too. Champion's going to definitely wipe out an Odger now. Oh, boy. Yeah, that one champion. Look at the one champion right here. Literally disrupting that whole line of siege. Without the bomb cans even doing anything at all. That's pretty insane, man. Hang out around the castle. Let's see here. Cavalier, fight the Treb. Fight that Treb. More bomb cans attacking the castle. Trebby. Oh, yep. Wow. Very interesting. How about this castle over here? Denied by the Gujar, though. Like all those chakrams and cavalry units got rid of all the villagers. Is that castle going to be completely wiped out now? I think it is. I don't see Mongols, at least for now, getting any more villagers over there. I see one builder coming, though. I see one builder from over here trying to reach that castle. Camel's doing a great job disrupting the line of Trebs. Yeah, I don't think that castle's salvageable now. That's a lot of stone lost. I can tell you right now, that's a lot of stone you just lost there, man. What's worse is now you see the elite elephant archers coming in. These things are literally range unit tanks. You can tank like billions of arrows. So you know these elephant archers are definitely going to be a challenge to deal with here. You're probably going to need some archers just to blast these things apart. I'm telling you right now. That's what it seems like, at least to me. Alright, now we see bomb cannons, cannoneers, organs, trying to continue the push into the Inca's base. They are going to take out a siege workshop, it looks like, right there. Are we going to see more or less, more siege? Yep, we see the bomb cans doing a good job aiming into the TC now. Very good. If we can take that TC out, that would definitely be a pretty good amount of damage to the Inca economy. Cavaliers charging in towards the onagers now. And it looks like bomb cans are going to try to aim onto that castle. That castle is a pretty big piece of defense right there. If you can take the castle out, I think you could do pretty good, honestly, you know. Alright, yep, looks like the castle does go down. Pretty big loss there for the Incas, not going to lie. Hand cans holding the line there pretty much. I would, yep, I see the eagles. I see the eagles. Fly like an eagle. Fly like an eagle into their siege. Yep. You're going to need those eagles. Eagles is the only thing you can really use as Incas at this point to push back. Only thing at this point you can use to push back. Looks like the camel is still there from earlier, so I don't know what's going on. What even is going on there, man? Oh, wow. Look at these Magadai completely shredding elephant archers. They're going into the... Wow. Bit of rating right there. Wow, I did not expect that. Just as I said, siege archers are going to be used to try to crush through the HP of these elephants. Oh, wow. Look at all the elephants just lost. That was very big. Big loss of elephants right there. The elephant definitely will not forget that. Oh, man. Even more elephants. Wow, wow, wow. So look at all these bomb cans trying to build a lineup now to fight through the siege. We do see some cavaliers there and champions. Yep, take out an archer. Let's see there. Take out that archer. Ooh, snap. Wow. Ugh. Trying to watch this battle very closely over here to see what happens. Portugal's definitely doing a good job at trying to keep at least a few champions in the line there to deal with the Eagles. But it does look like the Eagles are smart enough to branch off and start attacking towards the bomb cans. Yeah, that siege workshop is pretty active there. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that out first. No, he's going to take that thing out first before he does anything else. Again, we see more intervention from the Gujarat player, sending in some hussars and a camel to try to deal with these bomb cans. It doesn't look like they get anything done, though, just a bit of a distraction. But yeah, Gujarat's going to have to come in again with another wave of hussars and camels, yep. All the while, the Mongols are preparing for another push themselves, yeah. Look at that, Treb taking out a castle. Now this wood line is completely threatened by the elephant archers. This Gujarat player is doing a lot of work, you can tell, you know, fighting on both sides there pretty much. Yep, big time. Looks like the cavalry does a little bit of damage, but still so many bomb cans that they're still going to be able to crush in even more into these buildings. Yep. Wow, look at all the buildings they're taking out. We see another mass of eagles developing there to try to push out. Looks like Oregon's trying to set up a line here to do with all these eagles. Yep. And it's working pretty good. I mean, they're going to continue to be able to crush into more buildings pretty much. And siege archers going to attack these trebs now. Take that castle out there. Okay. Look at how much fast units are coming in. Whoa. That's going to completely disrupt everything for the Portuguese. Oh, yeah. I think his best bet at this point is just moving these bomb cans around like that. Yeah, and taking out as many buildings as you can while you're over there. Because I'm not sure if you're going to have any surviving bomb cans when it's all said and done. Nah, yeah, the Gujarat is definitely committed to helping on this front. We see one wave of hussars. We see more hussars. Gujarat is competent enough, it looks like, to actually handle two fronts, which is really impressive. Not going to lie, really impressive. So we do see some trebs trying to target onto this Gujarat TC now. Who knows if it'll actually go down or not. I think it'll go down, maybe. But we'll see. I think it will go down. Looks like pikemen coming in as well. A big massive pikemen to deal with all these Eli archers. Yep. TC does go down. Trebs countering the Gujarat Treb now. Oh, pretty good aim. That was a good aim. That was a lucky aim there. Look at how much that did. Is he going to get it again? Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Good aim there. Very good aim. And we do see... Oh, wow. How did this happen? Now, how did this happen? We see elephant archers attacking the trade route. So, basically, instead of going for a really fast unit to raid the trade, Gajara decided to use some tanky elephant archers to sneak past all the castles with their HP, basically, and then make it back to the trade. I've never seen elephant archers be used like that before. It's kind of creative, you know? You know, you're going for sort of brawn instead of speed, and I think in that case it can actually work. Yeah. At this point, we see Gajara sort of desperate to prevent the same thing from happening to them, but unfortunately too little too late since the Mangudai are already there and we have Trebs sort of blasting apart those houses as well. If you could get some Mangudai there to maybe target some of the trade carts, that could be a very devastating situation. Oh yeah. Mongol Lily came all the way up here to shoot the Ellie Archers with the Ongers. Not bad. Not bad at all. Very, very interesting, yeah. Hussars trying to fight all the pikemen, yep. Mangudai trying to shoot their way through all the cavalry. Gold, please. Oh wow, Portugal's running low on gold. It took a while. It did take a while because, as you know, the Portuguese units are cheaper in gold, so they can afford to spam gold stuff a little bit longer than everybody else. But yeah, we're finally seeing halberdiers come in now. You know, as you know, halberdiers are kind of useless against Eagle Warriors, so yeah, they're only really going to help against the Gajara intervention of the Hussars. Really, that's just about it. Just about it. Now, in terms of the battle here, I think Eagle Warriors are going to be a lot more devastating now that we don't necessarily have enough of the gold to make as many champions. Yeah, definitely. Definitely is going to be a lot more risky. Inca's also choosing to add in some Arbalesters too as a range support unit. Pretty good choice, I would say. Oh man, yeah, look, we got Mangudai, Mangudai. The Mangudai are making the trade carts die. Mangudai, yeah. Putting the die in Mangudai. So, basically, as you know, Mangudai shoot faster, so they're really good at just destroying whole lines of trade. It's really going to force Gajaras to take a whole massive Ellie Archers here just to deal with that. Oh man, look at all the trade carts we're seeing being downed right here. This is very big. You know how much trouble that causes a player to lose that many trade carts? It's like really devastating because, as you know, you have to pay the resources to rebuild them all, and yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun, I'll just say that. So going in there with Mangudai and just rapid shooting down so many trade carts is going to leave a lasting mark, at least for a while here. Oh man, look at that. Actually, the Mongols forced to buy wood for 154 gold. Oh, wow. Bomb cannons taking out an Inca castle, it looks like there. They'll get this one down, at least. I don't know if they'll be able to get this one too. That would be good. Now we see Mangudai trying to fight these Hussars pretty much there. Take out that bomb can. Very good. Alright, so now we see the Elephant Archers getting targeted there. And we see organ guns doing a pretty good job at holding the line against all this stuff. Yep. Mangudai one-shotting all the Ellie archers. Definitely a creative way of dealing with Ellie archers, not gonna lie. Just rapid shooting them down bit by bit. But some siege archers would definitely help though, and that's why they should come up there to do some stuff. We do see the weakened trebuchet here coming down to actually siege some of this Gujarat stuff over here. Maybe could take the town center out, maybe take a market out or two. That could be pretty devastating. It really would. So yeah, now we're seeing a lot of... Ooh. Wow. Trebuchet targeting the TC there. Looks like all this siege was wiped out. Mangadai still targeting down the Ellie archers. We're kind of seeing more or less the same situation over here between Incas and Portuguese sort of fighting over the same territory at this point. You know, all that Gujarat intervention has definitely kept Inca breathing. You can definitely tell. Now we see Inca actually forced into trash units. We see skirms now. We didn't see skirms all game, it seems like, from them, and now we're seeing skirms. But we're also seeing skirms from the Portugal as well, so almost seems like it's going to turn into a little bit more like a trash war. Not completely, obviously, but definitely Portugal and Inca have to definitely plan out what gold units they're going to do, right? If they're going to get eagles, they got to make sure that they're for a very specific purpose. If you're going to get bomb cans, you got to make sure that they're actually going to take stuff out. You know what I mean? Otherwise, making helps and skirms is probably going to be in the best interest of both sides, pretty much, as a unit. We see the bomb cans doing a good job against the siege there. The siege workshop, that is, and now they'll start to blast some of these barracks down. I think if you can get rid of more of these barracks, it means less Eagle Warriors that you have to worry about, you know what I mean? That's what I'd mostly be thinking about there. What's going on over here now? So, Mangadai are sort of chasing some of the Ellie archers. They're luring them right into the castle. That's not good. You don't want to be under a castle with those units. It's a good way to lose them all. And lose all that gold that you put into them. But that being said, though, there is an opportunity here for these Trebs of the Mongols to potentially take out a castle. If they can maybe stop the wall of Ellie archers from coming down on them. Right, and if your pikemen can intercept the hussars there. Totally possible. Yeah, pikemen better be focusing on the Huss, and the siege archers can focus on the Ellie archers. Yep. Very good. Treb's targeting the castles pretty well there. Treb's trying to take out that castle. It's a bit hard though, since the castle is at an elevated point. So that means that the castle will do increased damage to all the units below, which you definitely have to watch out for, right? Ah, wow, look at all the stables right here from the Gujarat. Whoa, lots of stables there. That means the Gujarat could become a real menace, right? Look at all the hussars we're seeing being stuck up over here to basically do all the raiding. That's pretty dangerous, I would say. Now, it looks like the town center was eliminated over here, but not the markets. Not at all. Portuguese pushing in hard now, it looks like. Actually crushing into the barracks, into the ranges. They're going to take out a good number of buildings, hopefully. But yeah, this is such a serious, dire situation that now the Gujarats have to get really involved with the elephant archers. Right, and I think those elephant archers will stop this thing dead in its tracks right now. At least with what I'm seeing here in terms of units. Is there any more barracks there that you could target? I would take the barracks out, because the barracks is where he's getting the eagles from. You want to get those eagles out of there. Eagles is your biggest danger from the Inca player in terms of stopping your push. You gotta get rid of those eagles. You can deal with skirms, you can deal with, archers, but I definitely don't think you can deal with eagles if you're trying to push in seriously. Champion's doing an okay job against all that infantry there. Bomb cannons gotta sort of start targeting away at those archers pretty much. Yep, get those bomb cans back up and deal with those Ellie archers. Oh man, look at these Ellie archers. This is enough to cause a lot of damage to this entire front. Yeah, they could take out a whole lot of stuff here. And that would really not be good for the Portuguese right now. Yep, hand cans getting completely swamped. Same with the organ guns. Elephant archers was definitely what Inca needed for resolving their pressure. Oh yeah. That being said though, oh wow, look, Inca actually returned the favor with some Eagle Warriors against the Mongol siege. That was totally unexpected. First time I think I've seen the Incas actually come across the map to help the ally out. So definitely some changes in dynamic there, pretty much, yeah. Now we see the organ guns trying to push again towards the elephant archers. Bomb cans, of course, are going to be focused on the big stuff like the Ellie archers of the buildings. More hand cans coming in too, and some organ guns. Nah, I still feel like elephant archers is the perfect defense here, right? Because obviously the bomb cans have to go through a real effort just to take out one elephant archer, never mind a whole squad of them. And in that time, the Ellie archers will have time to actually take out organ guns, take out units. But yeah, halberdier is definitely a good counter though, you know. Having some halberdiers right under the elephants will clean them up a bit faster and maybe deal with that. We'll see though. We'll see if that ends up staying true. Mangudai breaking through enemy lines to start targeting farmers. Could make a difference. Could actually make it hard to train some of those Ellie archers. Who knows? Right? And we can tell up here the eco and the military bards are a little bit close now. So it's a bit more even, Steven. Oh man, look at the Hussar raid on the trade. So it looks like we see the Gujar actually starting to go for Hussar raids back here to devastate the gold line of the Portuguese and the Mongols. Very intense indeed. Could mean a whole lot of stuff pretty much there. Bomb cannons coming down here to blast through some stuff, it looks like, yeah. Looks like the bomb cannons are going to target that castle now. Very powerful. Looks like hand cannoneers are going to target their way through the Ellie archers. Oh, yep. Inca's under siege again. Castle's going to be lost. That's a pretty big move there. Oh, yeah. Castle's going to be lost. TC is. Yeah, Gujar has no choice but to send in more Ellie archers. They got to protect their ally here because if one of them falls, the other one falls. Guaranteed. Not even joking. Oh, Mongols starting to use Scorps. Starting to use Scorps now. Quite a change, you know. The whole game's been built around Onagers, but we're finally seeing some Scorps be added in. Wow. Probably thinks with so many elephant archers coming in different formations, you could probably get more damage across with the shoot-through type mechanic of the Scorpions. Another Portuguese push thwarted by the Gujaras. This Gujar has been a really phenomenal ally this whole game. Just keeping Inca in the match. Yeah. We all wish we had allies like this Gujar, I think. It would make our death matches go a lot better. Big time. Yep, more Hussar raids on the trade, it looks like. But the castle's doing a pretty decent job, though. We're dealing with most of them, I think. Right? Also, some Portuguese gunpowder came up there, too, to try to intercept the Hussars. I think the most fortunate thing for Portugal is the fact that they're Portugal and their stuff costs less gold. So whenever, you know, Gujaras comes in to thwart something, they definitely can recuperate a little bit from it and still continue to do their important gold units. Yep, you gotta definitely make sure that the bomb cans are targeting one Ellie at a time if you want to take them out. Otherwise, I would say, yeah, get some helps. Throw those under as well. Agudai doing a good job against the Ellie archers. Scorps also doing some okay stuff against the Ellie archers on this side. So when do we sort of see this side grinded down a bit? Because I could definitely see a Mongol breaking through here and sort of grinding into the trade route. That would be pretty bad. Be pretty devastating. Oh, big time. Oh wow, we see both Incas and Gujaras trying to raid the trade route up here, but pikemen in the way, it looks like. Now this tells you the situation's dire. We actually see the Inca pushing back now because of these big chunky elephants basically making it impossible for Portugal to break through. Yeah, so we might actually see some territorial loss in favor of the Incas, yeah. They push me back. Yep, I see it right now. I see the elephant archers, Lily being the elephant in the room, allowing the Incas not only to survive, but now thrive. Into your base, that is. Now we see Eagles pushing forward. Probably to help with the siege a little bit. Now, what will you get if you are Portuguese? So I see them making organs. I see them doing hand cans. We have some Eagles there. Very good. Oh wow, look at Rams. The Rams will do a lot of building damage. It basically forces the Gajara back onto camels. Wow. We haven't seen camels for a while here. What's more, the Trebs are starting to target the castles now. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Why is the Mongol targeting houses with his Trebs? Why? Oh, so he can clear the path, I guess? Is that it? Maybe. Yeah, I was wondering why he was doing that. Like, whoa, what's that all about? Will the Rams actually get to do anything? Looks like the Rams will take a range out over there. Will they take anything else out? Right, do we see any of these markets go down at all? Because, yeah, these Trebs should be focused on the markets here, honestly. You could take those markets out for just a little while. You're going to sort of see Gujarat and Inca's gold really dwindle pretty much to the point that they're going to be forced on the trash. One market goes down, but the rest, the more important ones, don't go down. Like, I would start with this one. Yeah, let's get that one at least, if you can. If you can get this one down, you're gonna, I don't know. It still feels like very little was done there, pretty much. Yep. Now we got Mangudai trying to cut through the camels, it looks like. Very devastating. Take out another camel. Mangudai try to target that cavalry. Yeah, now because of all that stuff that the elephant archers did, now we're starting to see the Incas actually start to push back and take out those periphery offense buildings that we saw from Portugal. We're seeing Rams be used for that. We're seeing Trebs be used for that. Now Portugal has to try to regain the momentum they did, you know. And what's more, Portugal was not happy of how many times the Gujaras have been sort of intervening, so they're going to take out their castle here, and maybe even some of their stables too, just to say, you know what, I want this to be a 1v1. I don't want this being a 2 versus 2. Stop saving your friend, man. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it at all. No. Alright, so we see the castle again damage over there. Very good. And after that, we see bomb cans start to push in a little bit deeper down here. Yep. With some hand cans. Oh yeah, did you notice that this match has been going over for over an hour, it looks like? This is a really good death match, you know what I mean? You don't always see death matches that go this long, honestly. It's quite impressive. Not gonna lie. Quite impressive. And now we see Treb sort of trying to target that castle there. Very good. Mangudai trying to target the camels as much as possible. Is there any siege here from the Gajara, though? To maybe get rid of this castle? Because this castle is going to continue to be an issue. Yeah. Oh, I see they got a bomb can here. Yeah, that bomb can's probably going to be used to take out that castle. Portugal doing a good job at sort of kind of trying to banana split the two players, you know what I mean? Sort of make it so that there's no more stables to send Hussars into his direction when he's going up against the Incas. And at the same time, trying to take out the barracks that the Incas have been using to help against the Mongols. Trying to turn it back into a 1 versus 1, honestly, you know? Oh, yeah. Wow, seeing more of those elephant archers sneaking into the back there. That's pretty devastating. Oh, yeah. Very devastating. Had to actually send cavaliers to intercept them. Quite intense. Incas still pushing on the Portuguese position. I didn't realize how close they are now. Wow, look at this. Look at how close the battle is. Literally, you got rams heading towards the mills now. This is pretty bad. I mean, this is the farming. This is the Portuguese economy. Before we saw Portugal really pushing deep into Incas, and now we're seeing actual rams going towards their farm line there, yeah. If that ram takes out a farm, well, not a farm, but that mill that the farmers are using, that's pretty devastating. I don't think it will, though, because we see cavaliers there coming to save the day. Yep. See cavaliers coming to save the day. Hand cannoneers coming in to basically target down all those camels. Looks pretty good there. And then we see hand cannons doing a pretty good job there to fight the cavalry. Yep. Very nice. Oh, wow. Look at the Gajaras coming in with their full might, though, of elephant archers and camels. Basically, Portugal is forced to, you know, sort of pinch back a little bit and figure out how they're going to position themselves against all this stuff. All this stuff. Oh, that's a lot of stuff there, yeah. Here comes the Eagle Warriors, sort of testing the waters to see if they can get a full plow in. They're going to plow in at some point. Looks like they do now. Let's see how many of the Eagles get the job done. Oh, no. You're going to lose that whole position now that the elephant archers are in there. I guarantee you. Yep. Now we see Mangudai sort of trying to defend against all these Eagles, pretty much, yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. Looks like the recording has been cut short. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a little strange. What I'm going to do is I am going to probably close out Capture Rage for now and see if we can see the rest of this match in the regular recording. Okay. So here we are. So what's going on at this point? Is there still fighting going on or what? Yeah, so it looks like right now we see elephant archers sort of coming over here and attacking this building. Let me take the fog of war off so we can see the rest of it. Yeah. Pretty intense battle, not going to lie. I mean, what are these eagles going to do? So these eagles are actually going to drive in towards all these villagers, it looks like. Pretty insane stuff right now. The eagles are actually going to reach the trade route. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Very devastating. Wow. Wow. After this match is done, I can reboot up the Capture Rage, and then we can check out the next match, by the way. Just wanted to see how the rest of this one goes. I actually did try casting this like a week ago, and I ran into a similar issue, so I know it's not a fluke. Something did totally happen with this recording, but yeah. Basically, when we have issues on our recordings, I'm going to make sure that I pretty much just do the rest of it from the regular game, and then when the next game is ready, we'll do it in Capture Age. So, yeah, I can be flexible. I can be flexible if needed, but yeah, I just want to see who's going to win this thing. This match has been going on for over an hour. This is insane. Alright, so we see Scorpions trying to gain an edge on the Elephant Archers, but the problem is there's just so many Elephant Archers being able to maneuver around and stuff that, yeah, the Scorps are literally forced into a micro frenzy trying to deal with them, yeah. We do see some Siege Elephants showing up too to take out the castles there. Very wild stuff. And next we see Camels sort of trying to come in there and fight this castle, it looks like, yep. Oh, the Portugal collapses. The Portugal collapses, and it looks like, wow, whew, that was an intense first game there, big time. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna boot up Capture Age once again, get back into the series that we're looking at, and continue from there. Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, let's look at how this one ended up going from the statistics. So, from the looks of it, score, military, economy. Oh, that's weird. Doesn't seem to be showing it. That's fine. Let's watch some more, shall we? So let's get into the game number 2 now. I will set the search to Deathmatch so we can find it a bit easier. If you're ever casting in Capture Age, by the way, you can sort of filter which games that you want to see, if it's Deathmatch or Supremacy or whatever. So yeah, this was the first game, but now we're going to watch this one. This is game number 2. And let's see who ends up winning this one. Let's get right into it. Start booting it up right now. Alright. So in this one, it looks like it's going to be Turks and Teutons against the Hindustanis and the Sicilians. Alright, so a bit of a different matchup, I would say. So what do we got on this one? So we see what looks to be the Turks over here. Yep, just checking for a second. The Turks are setting up stables right now, houses, and they're going to get right into it. Their ally, the Teutons, is right over here. And then on the other side, you would have the looks to be the Hindustanis and the Sicilians, yeah. Alright, so this should be a really nice fight. Right away, you see some cavalry basically working over there to defend everything. Camel being used to stop that Hussar, very good. I could totally expect a lot of Hussars to be driven right away into the Hindustanis' base here, pretty much. You know, as you know, Hussars are one of the things that the Turks do specialize in. They have a little bit of extra armor on them, so that's good. Now on this side, we see the Sicilians setting up looks like barracks, stables, setting up some castles, pretty much. And what are the Teutons going to do? So the Teutons are going to do siege, they're going to do barracks. Any stables yet? I don't see any quite yet. No castles yet. Alright. Basically, for the Teutons, they really love their melee armor, you know? They really love their melee armor. Not only do their siege weapons get more melee armor, but their infantry and their cavalry do too. So, definitely Teutons are really good at just getting hit by swords and spears, basically. That's really what they specialize in. Alright, so now we see Camel Wars. The Wars of the Stinky Camels. That must really smell. But in general, the Hindustanis are going to take the crown here because they got a very special unit. They got the Imperial Camel. The Imperial Camel. The Imperial Camel is basically paladins, but on camelback. Yep. So they're naturally going to beat out a lot of the other Civ's camels, naturally, because it's literally like fighting a paladin versus a cavalier, pretty much. So yeah. Look at how good these Imperial Camels are, just disrupting all that stuff there, basically. That's pretty big. It's pretty big. And now we see some hand cannoneers coming up in the back as well. As you know, Hindustani hand cannoneers do have extra range, so they can shoot from farther back, which is really nice. Do we see... Oh, we're seeing some heavy cav archers. I don't know if that was intentional or a mistake. Maybe it was a bit of a misclick, who knows. But all I can say is we do see some heavy cav archers and hand cannons grouping up in the back while the Imperial Camels push in the front, yeah. Now, in terms of siege, it looks like the Hindustani will do a Treb to start. I don't know if they'll do any sort of bomb cans or anything. They could totally do that as well. Looks like the Imperial Camels take out that siege engine pretty much, and now we see a big line of heavy cav archers from the Turks. As you know, the Turkish heavy cav archers have extra HP, so they are going to be generally good in any sort of fight that they find themselves in. Problem is, they're being completely surrounded by all these camels though, so I don't know how much that extra HP is really going to help you out. I don't know at all, truthfully. Alright, so we see halberdiers here from the Tuans. We also see some siege archers. Now, looks like the Sicilians are going to do sergeants with siege archers of their own. Should be pretty good. One thing you always have to keep in mind with the Sicilians is their units take less bonus damage. So if you're running in with cavalry at all, they're not going to take less damage from the pikemen and so forth. Oh man, look at those siege archers doing so good there for the Tuans. Like wiping out all those sergeants. That's really good. That's a big loss of gold units right there. But the thing is, the Sicilians get their own siege archers too, so it goes both ways, I guess. Yeah, big time. And as you know, the Sicilian Cavaliers have some extra armor on them too, so they're going to be a really good choice for the Civ whenever you're playing as them. Alright, so now we see Hindustanis getting ready to set up their trebs against that castle, it looks like. I think they could probably get that castle down. That castle looks like it's a goner. Just because there's just so many trebs there. It would take a really big push by those cav archers to actually clean it out. We do see some hussars being added in as well to try to save that castle. It's going to fail though. I guarantee you it's going to fail. Because, you know, virtually the castle is such a huge building that the trebs really can never miss it when they shoot at it. Basically, yep. Also, the Turkish trebuchet is countered as well. See Imperial Camels cutting through all the hussars now and trying their best to try to protect these trebs. If any of these trebs survives, then the push continues. Also, we do see a bomb cannon here too be added in as well, it looks like. And now we see camels with the hand cannons there trying to hold off all these Turkish counterattacks, it seems like. Now, how many trebs you on? You got about 5 trebs, and you got some bomb cannons. Very good. Very, very good. And what we got over here, we got the siege archers fighting the siege archers, pretty much. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Oh boy, castle. Yeah, now forced to actually target down these cavaliers too. Doing pretty good at it. I mean, they did take a good number of those cavaliers out. But remember that the Tuans get access to the paladins, so the paladins going to definitely be a formidable match for a bunch of extra armored cavaliers for sure. That being said though, big massive halberdiers and sergeants to help out the cavalry. Paladins being used very... Oh, wow. Well, good shot with those oranges. That was some good precision there. That, like, literally saved the Treb. That literally saved the Treb there with that perfect aim. Now, looks like Tuans do get a good shot against the Sicilian archers, pretty much, and they are able to basically keep pushing, yeah. Now, over here, we do see Hindustani Trebs pursuing even deeper and pushing towards that siege workshop, and the town center is in that castle in the back. Imperial Camels basically pushing right on top of the heavy cav archers to basically prevent them from targeting the Trebs. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Another win. Very good. Very, very good. Yo man, looks like Team Breeze is not doing too well right now, man. Nope. Not at all. Now we got some statistics. Alright, so these are the score, military, economy, technology, and society. Alright, so we're going to go to watch more, right? And go into game number 3. Is that right? Here we go. So let's see what this one has. Boot it up right now. Okay, so this one's going to be Saracens and Goths against the Persians and Britons. Oh, a bunch of original civs from the Age of Kings. Very interesting. Alright, so here we are. We got Team Britons and Persians over here, and then we have Team Goths and Saracens over there. So, who is this? This would be the... Trying to figure out who this is exactly. Alright, so this would be the Britons, right? Is that the Britons or... Yeah, this would... I'm trying to figure out who's who right now. Who is who? Okay, so this is the Goths, this is the Saracens, right? And then over here would be the Persians, and then that would be the Britons. Okay, alright, good to know. So we see the Goths obviously doing barracks. I mean, you're not going to really see anything else from the Goths. They're literally a infantry spam civ. They train infantry basically instantly, and they're just good at starting an early Huskarl rush right towards the enemy's base. That's really what the Goths do. You know, basically hit you with their best unit, since the Huskarls, as you know, were impervious against arrows. So even if you have a castle upper two or a town center, they're going to tank that really well. That's why you're seeing so many Huskarls be plowed in towards the enemy here. Looks like the Persians will try to counter that with heavy camels, it looks like. I don't know how good that's going to go. It's probably going to go about half and half, I would say. Especially since there's so many Huskarls coming in right now. And what looks like the Huskarls are... Oh, look at this 200 IQ move here. Protecting the villagers with the stone wall. Wow, that is so good. That's something you normally only see in regular supremacy mode. That's 200 IQ. Basically makes them totally immune to the Huskarls there. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, and we see more Huskarls piling in now. Trying to cut through all those camels. Now, I don't know with all those Huskarls, are you actually going to be able to fight all these castles? I don't know exactly. And when are you going to actually need some sort of siege to actually help with that as well? Oh man, look at all these Huskarls starting to crowd up though and stack and everything. That's pretty significant. Pretty significant. And what is the Saracens going to do? So the Saracens, of course, are going to do their heavy camels since it's one of their best units. And what else are we going to see in the back there? We see some siege archers coming in. Saracen siege archers, as you know, do more damage because of counterweights, so they're going to have a bit more damage on them, which is good. Oh, here comes the War Ellies. The War Ellies finally come out. The War Ellies finally come roaring out. These big giant mega tanks of units. It's kind of the signature thing of anyone that plays the Persians, right? When you think of the Persians, you think of the War Elephants. So that's basically what you're going to need to try to stop this Gothic infantry push. But the problem is, of course, not only can the Goths instantly spam out Huskarls from their base, they can also instantly spam out their other infantry too, just like the Halberdiers. And as you know, Halberdiers and War Elephants do not mix very well. Definitely. Elephants are definitely going to have a big problem with this many helps coming in towards them. We do see some longbowmen coming in, though, to intervene, which I think is pretty smart, considering longbows, as you know, have a lot of range. In fact, all the range units of the Britons have extra range on foot, so Arbalisters have extra range, Elite Skirms have extra range, and then the longbowmen have a lot of range, yeah. We do see some Persian halberdiers trying to counteract the Goth ones, it seems like. Yep. Goths at this point are just going full halberdier right now. I think that's probably the smart move to do because you're dealing with War Elephants now, and I think the only way you're going to potentially deal with that is just having a nice line of halberdiers and swords just force your way through. At least that's what it seems like, from my opinion anyways. Alright, so what else do we see here? We see some Savars too, basically the Persians' replacement to the Paladin. So we see halberdiers sort of fighting their way through all that, as well as some Mamelukes. Mamelukes, wow. Good move there by the Saracens. As you know, Mamelukes basically fling their scimitars at you, and they can be really good at one targeting down really tough units like Siege, like Elephants. So the Mamluks might actually really end up helping here. Yeah. So what are these? These are, looks to be Saracen siege rams. Oh, wow. Saracen siege rams working together with the Goths infantry. Right. And we do see some Huskarls continue to be added in too, prior to deal with the Longbowmen. It sort of seems like it's a combined front right now. They're all sort of fighting in the same place right now. We're seeing Saracen siege and Mamluks and Goth infantry take off against war elephants and British archers. Let's see if any of these rams get through. I mean, they're definitely helping to distract the elephants, I think, and allow sort of this big mass of Mamluks to break their way through them. So I think that part's good. Absolutely good. Huskarls gonna try to fight through the Longbowmen. Yep, very good. Halberdiers got to thrust their way through all those elephants pretty much. Rams break their way through to the castles, it looks like. Yep. Looks like the Mamluks doing pretty good against the elephants. Yep. Now, can the Trebs sustain? I don't think so. It seems like the elephants are actually gaining on them. Yeah, no, when you still have that big line of Longbowmen. Now, one thing that's funny, look at how these Mamluks are trying to micro around the Longbowmen, basically trying to use their speed, and it's still not working because, of course, archers always have ballistics at this stage. So, yeah, it's not going to help too much. We see more Saracen siege rams make a move onto the Brins now. Seemed like the Brins were so intent on doing archers that they didn't realize that their own castles could be under siege themselves. So, yeah, that's where that goes. So, looks like a castle will go down over here. Maybe a few castles over here will go down as well, pretty much. Now we're going to see these rams go towards some of these castles now. Will any of these go down? I don't think so. It seems like the Savars will basically intercept that really good. Yep, basically a beacon there from one of the defending, from the Persian player to get into this area to sort of close it off. We do see siege workshops coming down for the Saracens, so definitely they're going to have to try to deal with that before this base becomes too serious. So what are the Goths doing now? So they're grouping up huge groups of Huskarls and Halbs and potentially looking to maybe make moves on the trade, perhaps, in the back. Something of that nature. We see war elephants pushing away at the siege workshops. We see Longbowmen also coming in to fight as well. Very good. And we even see war elephants starting to take out some of those. Oh, wow. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, I want to see what the Goth player does. Now, what is the Goth player going to do? So, where are all these infantry going? So, they're going to the trade? Are they going into the villagers? Alright, so this is totally vulnerable right now. Look at how vulnerable this is. Like, I don't think an elephant or two is going to deal with that. This is going to be a huge problem for a while. Yeah, a huge problem for a while there. Yeah, the thing is, Brins don't have full siege rams, so it's going to take a little bit longer for the cap rams to work. And in fact, the Mamluks might actually salvage this castle. Might actually do it. Maybe. Looks like they do save the castle. The castle is saved. At least it seems like it. Oh man, look at that. They saved the castle. Whoa. Goth player taking out the castle first, it looks like. Pretty smart move since it's going to make defense a lot harder. Again, now more Huskarls, it looks like. With some helps. Yeah, Vils will continue to start repairing that castle, it looks like. Mamluks doing a good job of targeting the elephants, pretty much, it seems like. Yep. Now we see the siege rams trying to take a move onto the rams. Whoa, whoa. Ah, man. War elephants and longbowmen looking pretty formidable right now. I'm not going to lie. This is pretty serious. You know, the elephants are super tanky. They do a lot of damage up close. And then they're being backed up by a bunch of longbows in their long range. Until the Husk Girls get involved, yeah. Husk Girls, the one way to completely ruin that formation. Just get a bunch of tanky Husk Girls in there with their anti-archer properties and you're all set. Now we're going to see if these Mamluks can start to target down these elephants. It seems like that they can. Any more longbowmen left? Seems like, yeah, a little bit of them. Yeah, a little bit of them are left. Try to go in there with the siege rams now on this Britain castle. Alright, so let's see if the rams can sustain. It seems like they're going to sustain at least for a while here. And then the archers. Oh man, did he just frag his own? He just fragged his own rams. Did you see that? That was not smart. I think that was accidental there. He just fragged his own rams with the siege archers. Oh man, that's really bad. That's always something I learned growing up with Age of Empires 2. It's always annoying dealing with both archers and rams when you're trying to fight a castle, because if you don't watch the archers properly, they're just going to shoot in the direction where the rams are and they're going to end up destroying all your rams. So it sort of seems like at times you want the archers to be off doing their own thing and not getting involved with the rams at all. It's one of the finicky things of learning siege warfare in this game, I would say. So yeah, it looks like the war elephants are finally dealt with. And they just need to get rid of that castle there, I think, to deal with the forward push. Military and economy and everything looks pretty even right now. Just saying. There are some Savars over here, though, to guard against infantry attacks. Oh man, we see some Savars going up against the Goth trade. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Looks like they're gonna maybe devastate like one villager or two, but that's about it. Good defense there by Team Goth and Saracen. How about over here? So we see siege rams with Mamluks continue to be used. They managed to take out the elephants, and now the rams can move on to the next structure, it seems like. Britons at this point adding in halberdiers to deal with all those mounted units. Whereas the rams in their little convoy start to move towards the Britons' buildings. Now the villagers again involved to attack the rams, it looks like, with their melee attack. What will they go for? So they're going for the trade, it seems like. Yeah, the trade. It's like halberdiers and husk girls are going to fight through all those elephants pretty much. Yep. Good use of the Mamluks there, trying to preserve them, and also trying to use them to sort target all the trade. I don't think he's got the time with the rams to actually take out the markets, but he can at least take out a castle. So Mamluks can come in and raid at any time. But the Savars come in though to intercept that, so it's not quite that easy, I think. So it looks like economy is in favor of the Goth team, but military is in the favor of the Britons and the Persians. Castle almost went down. It did take a lot of damage. Seems like. Alright, so Goth infantry retreats a little bit to slice some of the vills there. We do see some Mamluks over there. Halbs and Huskarls still for the Goth player. Alright, so Mamluks trying to fight the elephants. Again, that's sort of been a dynamic we've seen all game. Seeing if Mamluks are a great counter to elephants, and they seem to be pretty okay. At least when you micro them alright. But now we see the Saracen siege archers be added in as well. Those could be certainly useful against a bunch of things. Just not halberdiers right up in their face though like that. So just clean those up. Get the archers working on those archers. Yep. Very good. Up. Oh, all the Savars are gone. Good use of the longbowmen there to try and micro down the Mamluks. I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, we finally see the Goth player actually set up a forward base. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Like, when are they going to start, like, getting a forward base, getting maybe some long-range siege, like Trebs? Seems like they're finally considering that right now, yeah. Seems like, yep. Alright, so we see more barracks coming down there. Okay, those are the Persian trebs, right? Yep, those are the Persian ones. So those are going to be used to push on the Goths position. Okay. So the Trebs get a little bit of a push onto the Goths castle, but not a whole lot, because as you know with the Goths, they train infantry instantly, so they can sort of just swarm on a siege weapon that comes into their base pretty easily. Pretty easily they can do that. So Mamluks doing a good job slicing through some of those villages there. Let's see if the Mamluks can disrupt that stone mining. That could definitely hurt the Bryn's ability to get more castles going. Should be pretty devastating. Bryn's continue to do more longbowmen with their Warwolf trebuchets. Where are we at now with the battle? We see halberdiers and trebs trying to push onto this Persian castle. How many more trebs do we got? We got about 5 trebuchets. Is that right? That's pretty good. I mean, we're going to probably have to see a lot of siege here by the Goths if they really want to start gaining on here. No more of this, have your barracks in your base and try to instantly spam infantry to win. You're going to have to at least make a little bit of a concerted effort to put some forward base here with some siege. And we see it finally paying off because that castle is going to be eliminated. And then now you can use that infantry spam actually to target the villagers, which, you know, is the only thing keeping the castle up at that point. So just keep doing that and you're all set. Just keep pushing on those castles. That's exactly what you want to do. Alright, so now we see Huskarls trying to pursue the longbowmen now, but unfortunately there's a bunch of war elephants there too, which is going to make it pretty hard to do. Yeah. Right, and now we see Mamluks pursuing the longbowmen now. That should be pretty good. Right. Okay, so it looks like the Mamluks doing kind of alright there. It's slicing through all those archers. Yeah. Oh, it's going pretty well, I would say. That's a lot of archers being lost there, pretty much. Any sort of siege coming to back him up, though. Yeah, Persia's pointing out saying, "Wee wee." Got Mamluks there. Do something. Better come up with something for that. Right, so now we see Halberdiers coming up with some longbows, pretty much there. On this side, we see the... Oh, those are the Goths trebuchets? Yeah, the Goths trebuchets trying to retreat from those elephants. And now Halberdiers starting to be popped out to try to fight their way through all those ellies. Yeah, the war elephants look like they've been basically tanking through a whole lot here, pretty much, and driving their way into the siege. Alright, now we see Mamluks trying to slice their way through all those halberdiers, pretty much. Working relatively well. Just gotta wait for those siege rams to arrive up there in the north over here, and then you should be able to push on the castles again. Just watch for those halberdiers that drag apart and then start targeting your rams. Not good. Yep, that should be a pretty easy cleanup though, not gonna lie. So, yep, that's done. Very good there. Mamluks should be able to clean up the longbows with relative ease. And then the rams are gonna roll in towards that castle. Yep. Alright, the rams are going to take an attack on that castle there. Very good. And on this side, we see elephants teaming up with... Looks to be that, yep. Castle does go down. Very good. That's a huge loss of stone right there for the Britons. Next castle here should be beatable as well. I mean, I think there's just enough Mamluks there to fight the Savars that are being pumped in to help. Alright, so yep, this castle's going to be targeted now, and then this one, and then you're really looking at a lot of issues if these ramps can continue to gain that momentum here. Oh yeah, exactly. All the while, it looks like the Goth player's mostly in defensive mode at this point, just trying to keep this forward base from developing. Yeah, Elephant's finally cleaned up there. This trip can continue to siege now. Again, these are only capped rams of the Britons, so Mamluks should be able to intercept those relatively easy. At least from what it looks like. Siege ram push here still pursues. Still persists. Pursues. Yeah, looks like the siege ram should be able to start ramming into that castle there right now. That would make it about 3 castles lost so far. But the Savars are starting to become more numerous now, and it's making it virtually impossible for the rams to reach there. So you might have to group back a bit, build up your group of Mamluks, and then go in again. But you're going to have to do something, since it seems like Goths, for at least right now, are starting to get pretty well walloped here by the elephants, yeah. Not quite able to get enough. Well, see, now we did pull back some of those helps and group them up, so you can actually start taking on the war elephants directly, which is really good. We have to push together. Yes, you do. You have to work as a team like you did at the start of the game, and go for a real serious push. Because what you really need is you need the rams and the Mamluks to do the sieging, and then just have a line of like Goth siege to fight the Savars, fight whatever melee that the Britons can come up with, and that's what you do. Exactly what you do. How many rams are we looking at there? Quite a big line of them. Now we see Hussars and Mamluks starting to fight, pretty much, yeah. Alright, let's see the Rams make a push on that castle there. Alright, let's see that castle start to get siege. Very good. See the Rams going for a push on that castle again. Alright, we see the Halberdiers starting to fight away those elephants, yep. Another line of siege completely ruined for the Saracens. When are we going to see, like, more like siege workshops start to appear there? Well, they did have some there before, but it seemed like the Persians and the Brins were able to intercept it completely. Oh boy, looks like another raiding attempt there by the Persians. Why is that thing still breathing there? It's gonna keep ramming into a siege workshop, so that's so annoying. Oh, it is. But we do finally see the Goths start to push out, yeah. Got basically enough troops to get down another castle, it looks like. I think really the only way you're going to win against these Persians is if you can destroy their castles, because it's the castles that produces the elephants, so if you don't want to deal with the elephants anymore, you got to destroy the castles. So, yep, another castle is lost. Very good. It's going to actually allow... You're going to have to get those halves on top of those war elephants right now and save those trebuchets. Save the trebuchets, or your push will be completely ruined. Looks like, unfortunately, the elephants are just doing what they want to do at that point, and the infantry are really struggling to grab around them and deal with them. That's, again, pretty devastating. Seems like, in general, Mamluks should probably try to retreat a little bit, try to reassess. At least what it seems like. Capped Ram is under attack. Alright, so now we see trebuchets start to move south here. Yep. Halberdiers should try to fight those elephants pretty much. Yep. Okay, so I didn't realize how close this was to the trade route, now that I'm looking at it. Man, if this castle goes down, you could really just sit here and snipe the markets. That would be pretty fatal if they can get those markets down. Let's see. See what's happening. Definitely get these markets down. This is the longest route, so that's, again, then the most gold. If you can get those down at least. I think you're looking quite good there. You're on easy street if you can do that. Yeah, castle does go down. Very big loss. Not going to lie, that's pretty big loss. Do we see the... Well, the Brins are sending some longbowmen over here. That's just how devastating this is. Bryn somehow getting a forward base over here. That's like literally insane. And we're going to see all the Mamluks and siege try to fight them out there, yeah. more infantry coming in for the Goths, whereas the Trebs are going to plow right in and start targeting all these markets. If they can get all 5 of them, that is really good. That is really good. Like we see, looks like the military's going up for the Goth team. Economy's not in their favor, though. That would totally change if you could get this trade out here. That's really what you need to do this, I would say. Definitely get that done. Yeah, villages being added in to fight the Trebs. Usually a smart idea if you can. But the Goth infantry will obviously intercept those pretty well. So yeah, only lasts for so long. Trebs opting to get the castle down first. I think that's honestly a smart move. Again, every castle that you lose, that's stone loss. And then as you get later in the game, you know, you're going to have to trade a lot of gold for that stone pretty much. So if you can get rid of the castles now, that's going to help you out a lot later. It really is. It's going to be quite helpful for you. So now we see the trebuchets starting to do really well against the markets. Very good against those mercados there. Lots of halberdiers there to fight the elephants. Very good. Like Goth infantry and Saracen hussars trying to fight through elephants. Probably not the easiest thing to do since they're so powerful. That forward base is finally gone on this side, by the way, from the Brins. Halberdiers breaking through. Remember that the Goth player was smart enough to get rid of the castles, so you could just run a bunch of infantry down here and just completely... Oh man, he's gonna put a castle here. That is so bad. So bad right now, getting a castle there. Quite devastating. That is really serious if he gets a castle right here. Because if he gets a castle right there, this whole line of trade is completely screwed. Completely destroyed. It's completely cooked. If he can get that castle there, that is perfect. And then you can put Huskarls in there. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. Exactly what you want to see there. Also putting actual barracks up there too. Quite good. And kept so much stuff over here, kept the elephants distracted. Now that castle can actually go up. Oh man, that is really good stuff there, yeah. I think this is how they win the fight there, really. I mean, Saracens are going to try their pushing over here against the Persian castle, and I think they're going to take it out, it seems like. Yeah, no, this is where it really ends for this team right here. He's losing that whole line of trade to a castle. Castle goes up. Goes up. Now the Puss girls are going to start coming out of it. That was perfect. Perfect castle there, yeah. Deletes the markets there now. Does not want those trade carts falling under that line of castle fire. They're going to lose some anyways, though. Some will be lost. Quite a few will be lost. Completely sure in the trade route. That is definitely what that team wanted there, the Goth team. Whereas Saracens, it seems like, are trying to push a little bit in, but still are, again, chump blocked pretty well by both the Persians and the Britons. Yeah, definitely that was devastating. I mean, if you really want to micro like crazy, you could still sort of target the trade carts from there. But yeah, no, the elephants are going to go right on top of it now and try to stop that as much as possible. I think if you got some barracks done here with halbs, it would already be over right now. But still looking pretty daunting, I would say. Yep, a little bit of infantry broke through here, and they're actually starting to attack the trade carts too. Goths at this point are going to want to try to save that castle, because that castle is preventing the Bryn and Persia team from reclaiming the full trade route that they had before. It's really it. I mean, if you can keep that castle up, that whole trade route is basically under threat. Looks like some of the Goth infantry are starting to branch off into the trebuchets now. Yep. Very good. What's going on over here? Are we having lag or something? Oh man, unexpected error. Here we go again. Let me close the game, the capture age right now, and we'll look at the rest through the recording. Yeah, it seems like the longer the recordings get, the more likely this is to happen almost. So yeah, let's see in this situation if the Goths can continue the advantage that they were doing before. It does look like Goth trebuchets over there are going to continue to pelt the castles. Looks like they paused the game. Is that right? It was paused by Breeze. Oh, maybe he needed a toilet break. Who knows? Yeah, so far it's been a pretty tough battle for both sides. Get rid of the fog of war. Yep. Can we sort of fast forward through this normal playback speed? Okay, there we go. Alright, so at this point, Trebs are going to be put onto this castle, and we're going to see more pressure on the Persians' base, it seems like, at least from the looks of it. Halberdiers fight through all those elephants. And they're gonna, I think they'll get them all before they get rid of all the Trebbies. Yeah. Very good. Take out that elephant. Looks like the castle is going to be destroyed there pretty much. Yep, get rid of that castle right in that spot there. Huskarls coming in to charge those Trebs. I think that's the angle you want to go at to beat this, honestly, because that's where the trade is. You got to get rid of that castle right there. That's exactly what you have to do. Longbowmen coming in to help, but of course we're talking about Huskarls, and you know how much Pierce armor the Huskarls got, so that's going to sort of be a moot point, really, if you're dealing with those things. It's really going to come down to what balance of Halberdiers and Huskarls you can do as the Goths to try to basically defend that area. Trebs will be taken out now, so I don't know if that castle is going to survive. You're going to have to get another line of Trebs down there to do that, and hopefully the villagers there won't repair the castle by the time you do that. How many castles are we looking at here by the Goth players? So there's no... The nearest castles are all the way back here, so it's going to take a while to refill that again. How are the Saracens doing? The Saracens are making progress. I mean, they're pushing pretty close to the trade route. They're reaching into the castles, the last castle sort of, before you hit the trade route. So if they can take these Persian castles out, then Persia really can't help as much with defense here. They can still do Savars, but they can't do the elephants anymore, and I think that's a pretty big thing there, yeah. Looks like the Rams will pump out that castle there. Quite good. And Goth infantry is going to... Oh man, they're getting stomped again by the elephants. Not good. Yeah, also by the time that... Oh yeah, now the Trebs are going to be attacked once again now. So, who knows if these Trebs are actually going to get the castle down. So this front looks like it's sort of falling apart almost. Not really, but definitely not getting as much speed as the Goths probably want. I mean, it's ideal if both sides is sort of... Oh, Mamluks, this is perfect. See, the Mamluks can throw their scimitars at short range, so they're going to completely be able to sit right there and take out this whole line of trade. Oh, no, that is so good, because the Rams were able to open up that path. That's why the Rams were there for, you know, was to basically make it so the Mamluks could sit there long enough and take out as much trade as possible. The more trade that they can get rid of, the more likely the Persia will no longer be able to do war elephants. The more likely that the Brins won't be able to do longbowmen anymore. Once they can't do their unique units, things get a lot tougher for you. I mean, do you really want to see the Brins halberdiers trying to fight the Goth ones in full mass, coming out like near instantly out of their barracks? No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, yeah, man, that's really cool. Look at all the trade carts that they were able to completely... And they're still taking out more of them. More trade carts getting taken out right now. This is really good stuff right here. Really good stuff. And we see longbowmen sort of trying to blast their way through all those trade carts. Very nice. And what's going on back here? We see the trades trying to resume, it looks like. Yep, you can see this one queue up, this one, this one, this one. And who are we looking at right now? We're looking at the Persian player because I can see the Savars being queued up. They're not looking too good. Look at how little gold they have. How much food they got. How much wood they got. They got like no stone right now either. So every castle lost is like a permanent one. You can't even repair them anymore. And then the Goths are going to attack this market. And they're going to attack this market. And if they can get these markets back here, then the trade is completely gone. The trade is completely cut off. No more gold. No more Savars, no more war elephants, no more longbowmen. They're all gone. So let's see if these Huskarls can reach into these markets and start taking them out. Let's see though. What happens over here? So we see Halbs with trebuchets. Trebuchets is going to start targeting the castles. Looks like castle's being pretty well damaged there. Oh, look at all the vills coming to repair this thing now. Yeah, well, they're going to run out of stone, though, so Persia's actually going to have to sell off more of their gold to make stone, pretty much. Because, yeah, they sort of just have to sit there and watch that castle go down now. How about over here? Is everything looking swell? Or, yeah, it looks like they're doing okay over here. But what is Saracen's next plan? We see Mamluks, Hussars, trying to stop a wall with Bryn halberdiers, it looks like. Alright, the Trebs will get this castle down right now. I think they'll last just long enough to get that castle down. There you go. Castle is down. That is big loss right there. Halberdiers will clean up all the elephants, or at least try to, but watch out for the Halbs. That's another potential threat there. And as a group, you're going to have to go for a push right at this angle to be able to wipe out all these units right here. And then now we see Mamluks coming behind these Rams, and they're going to want to get this castle down right in this spot. And after that, we got to see the longbowmen sort of micro their way through this angle right here. And longbowmen trying their best to try to stay alive pretty much and try to keep this front going. War elephants are coming forward now, it looks like. What now? Castle's down. Castle is down. Huskarls are going to have to push in a little bit more. And we're going to have to see some siege come forward there. Alright. Looks like, yeah, Persia's like burning through a lot of gold and food right now. Like, they're just trying to keep some queues of war elephants going. But as these Mamluks start to eat away at the war elephants, I think that'll be pretty big, actually. Pretty big. Trebuchets are going to target that castle, it looks like. Yep. Huskarls grouping up there for a big push, you can tell. They're going to want to go in a very concentrated way to either wipe out a bunch of vills or to take out a building like a castle or a TC. It's really what you're going to want to use them for here. Yep. I'm still surprised that these guys are still fighting on. Yeah. Still doing it. Pretty shocked, actually. I think it's a matter of time, though. Those Huskarls are going to break through and start hitting stuff. Well, they're definitely going to break through to the longbowmen. That's good. That's really good. Seems like the Huskarls need to fight their way through all those archers, yeah. And now we see the Mamluks sort of try to come down here to fight the villagers. Yep, farmers are wiped out. I think at this stage you can definitely tell even losing farmers is kind of serious, because remember how much food the war elephants cost, even Savara's part of the Nightline costs. Every farmer that you lose means no more cavalry, and thus you can't fight the rams anymore. That's the only thing that's keeping the rams from, yeah. Looks like, yep, castle is down. Huskarls are, well, actually Mamluk's gonna fight through that. Is there any rams left? Up. Looks like finally this team got a break and they got a win. They finally got a win. That's great, actually. Let's try to get the capture age back up, and we'll try to go into game number 4 now. From what we saw in the last situation when this happened, I don't think any of the statistics stuff is going to work. So we'll probably want to just go right into game 4 from over here. Watch more. Alright, so let's go into replays, go into Deathmatch. Alright, let's go with this one. It's going to be Ethiopians and Sicilians against Vietnamese and Japanese. Very good civs. So what do we see here? We see what looks to be the... Trying to figure out who's who here. Trying to figure out... So this is the Ethiopians, right? Yep, the Ethiopians over here, and the Sicilians over here, it looks like. Then I believe this would be the Japanese, right? Because I see barracks there. And the yellow would be the Vietnamese, okay. So, kind of an interesting mix of civs here, honestly. So, basically, on this side, we're going to see an archer civ go up against an archer civ, right? In the case of the Vietnamese, their archer units get more hit points. In the case of the Ethiopians, their archers get faster rate of attack, right? And then on this side, it looks like we're going to see two sort of okay infantry civs fight each other, right? We're going to see the Sicilian sergeants try to fight off against a bunch of Japanese infantry that attacks faster. Pretty much, as you know, is sort of their main bonus. Their main bonus is infantry attacks faster, right? Now, if the Japanese obviously do some samurai, I think that'll definitely stop any sergeants in their tracks, since, as you know, samurais have multipliers against all the unique units, which is quite good. Alright, so we do see the sergeants starting to come up, but no castle yet. So it means that the sergeants will enjoy a bit of an advantage right now until the castle's done over here. On this side, we see a sort of a very far off castle being done by the Viets. Oh, Chotel warriors, watch out for those things. These things are very devastating to deal with. Chotel warriors will get that castle down, I think. It looks like it. What's going on up here? We see Arbalesters massing up against the Bell Elephants. As you know, the Vietnamese Bell Elephants also have more hit points, so that'll be a really good unit for them to do. We do see the Arbalesters shooting so many arrows because of their improved rate of attack. One thing to also consider is the torsion engines on the Ethiopian siege weapons, which basically means Ethiopian siege has more blast radius, thus damaging units in a wider arc, basically. So you could totally expect these siege launchers to do some real devastating stuff here, pretty much. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. We see siege archers trying to back up. These battle elephants clearly want to reach them and take them out, and that's quite serious. Shotel warriors being one of the methods of trying to cut them down, pretty much. As you know, Shotel warriors are very much like a glass canyon. They're very fast, they can do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of HP. So if you're right up against your castle and you're looking for something to try to stop the elephants from coming in, you might want to try using some of those Shotel warriors, yeah. Vietnamese adding in some bombard cannons. It's one of the units that they can use. So they're doing bombard cannons, battle elephants, and some infantry. Also, it looks like a few rattan archers as well. They're a unique unit. Basically an archer with extra pierce armor, so really good against range attacks. And then on this side, we see what looks to be Sicilian siege archers and infantry try to make a move onto the Japanese. The Japanese are trying to hold the line using some archers of their own and trying to set up another castle, right? You're going to need plenty of castles as Japan to stop the Sicilian player from doing sergeants using your samurai, right? And you're going to need forward positions too to get your, I forget what it's called, the Capaccio trebuchets. The trebuchets that move faster and shoot faster, so that you can actually start pushing into the Sicilians' base. Looks like Vietnam pushing quite well. You know, the bomb cans are hidden where they have to, actually taking out a castle out there before it's done, depriving the Ethiopian of that stone, and then the bomb cans will be able to push in even further against the other stuff. We see a lot of heavy scorps there from the Ethiopians. Quite a lot. Remember, the Ethiopians are one of the only civilizations in the game to have all the major siege weapons in their arsenal. So they can go scorps, they can go heavy scorps, siege archers, siege rams, bomb cans. They got everything under the sun. That's sort of one of the things that they specialize in is archers, siege, and also counter cavalry too, since they got stuff for their halberdiers and camels. Bomb cannons doing good, taking out an archery range. They're going to be able to hit in long against that TC, which will stop build production, and then obviously the battle elephants will start to push in as well to act as sort of an additional siege measure against those buildings. We do see a castle here now to help supply in some trebs, maybe some rattan archers. I thought I was versus... Oh, man. Oh, that's pretty devastating. That's pretty devastating to hear. So, Japanese champions in siege trying to make a push up here. Also, the heavy cav archers. As you know, Japan gets really good heavy cav archers. They even get party and tactics on them, and then they get another bonus that allows them to do bonus damage to archer units except for skirms, which is pretty cool. And we see, oh wow, look at that. We see another, oh, interesting. Very nice. So, what does that mean for game number 5? Because I saw another record there. Does this mean that they do another one, or what? Because if I recall correctly, the Team Breeze has lost about 3 times right now. So, these are the post-game statistics if you want to see them. Here they are. Right here. Right, and then we're going to get on to the last match in this series, which will be same map. It looks like the Golden Pit. Is it the exact same game or what? Trying to figure out. It might be the same game, or let me see. Let's check it real quick. If it's not, that's fine. We can just close it out here. But we'll know right away what this is. So this is Vietnamese right here. This is Ethiopia. Let me fast forward this a bit and see what's going on here. This might just be a duplicate. Yeah, I think this is the same one. All right, so maybe that was accidentally submitted or whatever. So yeah. This has been the series between Team Pink Potatoes and Team Potatoes with Ketchup. So yeah, it was a really good series. I enjoyed doing it. It was a much longer series than I thought it was going to be, because remember the first one I did was only like 45 minutes. This one was like almost 2 hours of really intense battles. So yeah, definitely enjoyed doing these death matches with you. See you in the next one. Sign off now from this one. Just got to press GG. Well played.